Lauren, with a cup of lemonade sweating gently in her hand, slid into the booth by the window where she could watch the cars drive to and from. Some zipped past like they had somewhere to be. Others crept, hesitant. It was the kind of background noise that let her sit quietly with her thoughts. The smell of fryer grease and old ketchup drifted faintly through the air. She glanced at her phone. Still 30 minutes before the girls would arrive. She let out a breath and stared through the window, fidgeting with her fingernails out of habit. It was one of those days where her mind didn't feel like staying in one place, drifting instead to all the what-ifs she tried not to entertain. She didn't notice the figure approaching until he was right beside her. "Hey, how long have you been there?" she asked, surprised, blinking up at the familiar smile. "Oh, about just now," Bran replied with his usual playful ease, sliding into the seat across from her like no time had passed. "What are you doing here?" Lauren asked. "Weren't you supposed to be at Henry's? The game?" "They told me to get more drinks, so I did," he shrugged. "Then I saw you walking in here and figured I could drop by for a few minutes." He grinned, and she hated how her stomach still reacted to it. "Who are you waiting for?" he asked, resting his forearms on the table. "The girls. We're taking Brenda out for her birthday." "At a fast food place," he raised an eyebrow. "Some friends you are." Lauren gave a half smile, swirling the straw in her lemonade. "Yup, that's what you get when your friends are broke college students. But I came early. Just wanted a bit of time alone." "Oh, I see," he said, pretending to stand. "Guess I better leave then, since I'm clearly not welcome." No. Stay," she said, laughing softly. "We haven't talked in a while anyway." Bran leaned back in the booth, relaxing, like it was home. He'd always been so comfortable with her, like there was no need for small talk, no need for pretense. That was part of the reason she liked him so much back then. He never made her feel like she had to be anything other than herself. "So, how's life treating you?" he asked, a genuine curiosity in his voice, as if he was just as invested in her life as she was in his. Lauren smiled, though it felt bittersweet. "I should be asking you that. I heard you got a new job and finally made it official with her." Bran's face lit up instantly, just like she knew it would. There it was, that spark, that earnestness she used to admire. Still did. "Oh yeah," he said with a little laugh, rubbing the back of his neck. "Things are good, really good actually. The job's great, creative team is awesome, and I don't dread Mondays anymore, which is a miracle." He leaned in slightly, lowering his voice like he was about to share a secret. "And Jenna? Yeah, she finally said yes." Lauren tried to muster a smile. She couldn't help but feel a pang, a sharp twist of something deep inside. She knew she shouldn't be surprised. Bran was always charming, always persistent. But Jenna? The way he talked about her, like she was the prize at the end of a long journey, it felt like salt in an old wound. "I'm happy for you," she said quietly, the words tasting more hollow than she intended. He didn't hear the strain in her voice. Or maybe he did, and didn't know what it meant. "Took a whole year," he said, grinning. "Can you believe that? A year of trying. I was persistent, though. Left little notes, remembered the smallest things she said, even took up hiking just because she liked it. I felt like I was in a movie half the time, but I just knew she was worth it." Lauren nodded, eyes fixed on the way his fingers moved as he talked, the subtle joy in them, like even his hands remembered what it felt like to chase someone and win. And it stung. It always stung. The way Bran made everything look effortless, while she stayed frozen in a world that felt out of her control. "You've gotten quite old since the last time I saw you," she said when he finally paused, trying to break the moment before it cracked her. "Ha! This is just what wisdom looks like," he said, tapping the side of his temple. "You know how it is." Lauren shook her head, glasses slipping slightly as she smiled. It was a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "So, enough about me. How have you been doing?" Bran asked suddenly, leaning forward with interest, genuine concern in his eyes. "When are you going to get yourself a man? I've got some friends, you know. Good guys. I could hook you up." The question was familiar, too familiar. She'd heard it 100 times before. It was always the same. His genuine, well-meaning attempts to fix her life, to bring her into his world, as if he could just solve everything with a couple of introductions. And she hated how much she wanted to believe it. She forced a laugh, even though it felt like it was coming from somewhere far away. No thanks. Hearing my sister and my friends talk about their boyfriends is enough for me. Honestly, it's kind of exhausting. You're not wrong, Bran nodded. Jenna and I weren't even official and we still argued, but hey, the pain's worth it. If the person matters enough, always worth it. His voice softened at the end, like he had reached the heart of it, and the look in his eyes made Lauren want to believe him. She used to believe him. I hope it is, she murmured, almost to herself. She took a slow sip of her lemonade, the citrus sting sharp on her tongue. So, she's the one? I think so, he said, his tone dreamy and light. Maybe in the next year or two she'll say yes to another kind of question, if you know what I mean. Lauren's throat tightened. She smiled anyway. Just pray you get that far, he chuckled. And maybe by then you'll find your Prince Charming. Well, if that's what you girls are still waiting on, right? He added, making air quotes. Lauren's chest felt tight. She wanted to protest, to explain that the last thing she wanted was some fairy tale romance, but she didn't. She couldn't. Not here. Not with him. I don't know, Lauren said with a small shrug, voice flat despite her best efforts. I don't think he's born yet. But when he comes, you'll know. I'll be screaming it from the rooftops, she said, forcing a laugh. Good, Bran said. Maybe he'll be as handsome and intelligent as me. He flipped his hair dramatically, and she rolled her eyes. God, how she used to love that. Excluding the pride, then he'll be perfect. Bran gasped. Come on, I know I'm the center of all your gossip. I'm like your group's personal celebrity. Lauren smirked, her eyes flicking up to meet his. Oh? Is that how it is? Well, I'm glad to report that our star has finally fallen from the sky, stuffed into a box, and is now being walked on a leash by Jenna. What? You all say that? He burst into laughter. Lauren couldn't help but grin. It felt too easy to make him laugh, and it felt too good to be the one to break him from his own little world. For a moment, she almost forgot how much it hurt. She nodded smugly. You've been tamed, thank goodness. She took another sip of her drink, too fast this time, and coughed into her elbow. Bran tried not to laugh, but clearly failed. Guess you'll need a new star, huh? I don't know, she said quietly, eyes drifting toward the window again. The cars outside still rushing by, oblivious to everything. The star I wanted is hard to get. I don't think it's even burning anymore. He blinked. Really? So you do have someone in mind? Lauren shook her head, smiling as if it were all a joke. You'll never know who it is, ever. She made a giant X with her arms, just a silly crush, no big deal. But when the right guy comes, you'll know. Before he could respond, a chorus of voices rang out by the door. The girls had arrived. Laughter bubbling into the space like a wave. They spotted Bran and called out to him, teasing and waving. He stood, flashing Lauren a wink. Don't be a stranger, all right? Yeah, she said softly, the lump in her throat too big to swallow. See you. He joined the others with that same charm, the same ease, picking up right where he left off with them, like nothing had ever happened between the two of them, because of course, nothing ever had. He turned once before leaving, waved, and smiled that perfect non-Jenna smile, the one Lauren used to dream about. And then he was gone. She looked down at her cup. The ice had melted, the lemonade was warm and diluted now, but she took another sip anyway. Outside the window, cars kept moving, unbothered, unaware, just like him.